Hello everyone, welcome back to my trash patch of a garden. Things have not gone so well this year. If I had the time, I could probably sit here and tell you at least 20 plus different excuses as to why the garden is in the state that it is. But when it boils down to it, the number one cause is just me not actually taking the time to prioritize the garden and focus on the garden. And you know, there's a bunch of things that all intertwine in there, and it's just one of them years. And as a gardener, you're gonna have them. I've had a couple of them. It's a setback. It sucks. One of the major setbacks that I dealt with was the recent loss of my father back in May. And I've spent a lot of time over the last couple months doing a lot of mental housekeeping, unpacking, just a lot of stuff that I had, reflecting on him, working on another little video project to memorialize him. It's a bit of a little eulogy. He didn't want any services, and he was such a great guy. He taught me so much. And like I said, there's a bunch of different things that I could blame my my inattentiveness to the garden on, and yeah, that's a big one. I could have probably spent a lot of that time unpacking things, being busy in the garden, but I don't know, it's just not the way that I needed to do it. So I'm not terribly upset by the way that things stand right now. There's a lot of things that in this time I've not been completely absent from the garden. I've been around, I've been observing, trying to do things where I can, but observing some of the issues that I've had with it, and trying to work through some of the pest infestations that we've had, the watering issues, having everything on a time schedule, getting an actual irrigation system set up. There's a lot of stuff that I was able to work on, maybe not physically all the time, but was able to kind of make plans for next year. Not totally just next year. I got some stuff that I'm going to do this fall. Most of the stuff I plan to do for the fall is really, again, preparations for next year. I'm gonna try to plant some greens and everything for the fall. I didn't really get any seedlings started for butternut squash or any of the good fall crops like that. So I'm a little behind on everything, but it's all right. I'm okay with it. Again, gonna make some preparations and get busy working on the future. I've got a lot of plans, a lot of things that I've been working on slowly. A lot of this time that I've been taking to think has given me the opportunity to really put down a lot of the things that I want to do, the things that I want to put my time to. And you know, doesn't always seem to be a lot of that, especially as life goes on and things get busier. But I'm at a point right now where it's about time to really get going on that stuff. So I'll do what I can in the garden. I got a lot of stuff that I want to start recording. I've got a ton of material already made up, you know, already filmed, that I just haven't really had the time to get around and edit. So I think I'm going to find some help for that in the next couple months and see what we can do about pushing out a little bit more consistently, because right now I'm doing all the content, you know, while also doing all the editing, so it's a bit tough. So I'm gonna get some help, at least on the editing front. I'm gonna need it for some of the other projects that I'm working on, and you know, hope you all stick around for that. And you know, if you haven't already, appreciate it if you took a moment to go and hit the subscribe button and the little bell icon for notifications. And if you've made it this far, I'll give you a little tour around what we're doing. You can see the big tomato bed that I have here. It's got a bunch of different varieties in it. Some of them never actually fruited. Some of them clearly fruited, but the quality of the tomato is pretty poor due to whatever factor is going on. The plant is fighting off blight, it's fighting off mealy bugs and scale and just about anything else that can attack it. And you know, we're going to harvest some of these. I'm going to harvest anything that, you know, looks decent enough, and try a couple more of them, see what the flavor profile is. I'm not terribly excited thinking that they're actually going to be worth anything, but we'll give it a try. But the big plan right now is to this weekend just rip all this out and burn the hell out of the plants that are here, whatever I can, down to the roots. Try to kill off any pests that are in here so that they don't carry through till next year. I try not to use a lot of pesticides. I try to do things a little bit more naturally. Hopefully let some of the helper bugs, the soldier bugs, take care of things. And it's not really working out this year. It's not a lot of ladybugs out, not a lot of aphids. We've had a lot of drought, there's been plenty of aphids on my pepper plants. We'll check that out in a little bit. But yeah, not a lot of predatory insects lately. We've been in a drought, and you know, it just hasn't been a good year for a lot of stuff. You can see here though that I've got mealy bugs all over this tomato plant, and pretty much all of them have it. And mealy bugs are a little parasitic bug that leaches the juice from the tomato plant. And you'll see all the ants that are around. I believe the ants are farming the mealybugs just like they would farm aphids. So I like ants. They're nature's cleanup crew, but not a big fan when they are pasturing their livestock on my vegetables. So they're gonna have to go too, whatever we can get. You can see all over. I think some of this is actually scale, I believe they call it. Not mealybugs, but there's definitely plenty of mealybugs on here. So you can see a lot of this. It's got blight and bugs. So not happy about it, but it is what it is. Like I said, I've got one irrigation line in there. I've got it timed to, you know, put out nice little area sprinkler here down at the base of the plants. It's not really getting up to the leaves or anything, so I don't think that that was necessarily contributing to the blight. But I probably wasn't watering them enough as far as how often or how dry it's been this summer. So I'm going to try to dial that in next year. Before the season gets here next year, I want to have it all set up, plenty of sprinklers. I got a huge pack of little sprinklers off of Amazon, little mini sprinklers. This year, if you remember from an earlier video, I had planted radishes and carrots, and I got some radishes. I didn't pick many out of here. Most of them just ended up getting neglected and going to seed. There's a couple little guys in there, but certainly nothing to write home about. Got a bunch of weeds growing in here, some volunteer tomatoes. I had a couple volunteer sunflowers. They were cool. Amaranth, or Chinese multicolored spinach. Yeah. This whole bed got super neglected. Didn't get a lot of water. I've got walking stick kale here. I'm still kind of playing around with this. I got some little bugs on here I got to identify. I don't know what that guy is. He's a new one to me. This is the first time I'm seeing him. Kind of looks like, I don't know what he looks like. There's something else over here. Unfamiliar. So I'm gonna have to identify them, see what they are. But we got all these little cabbage moths or whatever they are, and tons of aphids on here. You can see all these little guys. It's all aphids. So this is all probably gonna go too. I'm probably not even gonna mess with it. Burn the hell out of it all. The aquaponics tomatoes also succumb to mealybugs. You can see them all over here. They're on the base of all of these. Like everything else, I'm gonna rip them out, torch them. This was going real good at first. All these plants look great, and again, I just neglected them. It's my fault on that. The roots were looking awesome, very healthy. I was able to set this up and get it going, and all was doing fine. I started getting to the point where I was training the plants to come over, and they were going to drape across this whole trellis. Didn't work out. Had some potatoes in bags. They did all right, not really all right. Again, neglected. I never really put another layer on top, but I did get some spuds out of one of them. I'll probably pull that bag later. Bunch of weeds growing here, stuff that just kind of got tossed around my little sprinkler. I had a nice zucchini growing here, and it was doing all right. I was very happy with it. We got a couple big ones out of there. Mess around with this now. Let's see what we got in here. Let's see if we got any taters. Okay, couple spuds. I'll take that. I'll add to our little side dish of potatoes that we harvested off of the other plants. So it's the best potato harvest I've had to this point, I'd say. And again, I did them in bags. I neglected the hell out of them. I think if I showed them just a little bit more love and actually mounted up some more dirt on top after a little while and went ahead and, you know, actually had them on a consistent watering schedule, might have helped out. Little teeny tiny ones here. You can see all the little ones that could have been had I taken care of them. But it is what it is. It's all an experiment. We've got plenty of lessons learned out of what we went through this year. One thing that I've been doing pretty good with is peppers. Just picked off a couple big ones yesterday and put them to seed, but I got plenty of banana peppers. I got some lemon drop peppers that seem to be doing well here. They're going to be nice. Take a walk out front next. The front yard, though, things are doing a little bit better. You can see behind me the grass is dead as hell, but the curbside zinnia garden's coming along. Definitely attracting plenty of pollinators and producing tons of beautiful flowers for the whole neighborhood and whoever I can give them to enjoys. So I grew all these from seed that we saved from last year's garden. Did the same thing, if you remember. Seems like I got a lot more purple than I remember having last year. So they must have been some of the better seed producing heads. But got a couple really nice colors. What's this guy here? What's up, buddy? I don't know what that is. Looks pretty nasty, whatever it is. Some kind of hornet, maybe? That's a big one. Big old wasp. Anywho, this year we did a little bit different. Last year we had watered everything from the top by hand or by sprinkler whenever we got it set up. And we were also getting plenty more water over the summer. This year I put a soaker hose, one of these porous ones, and I just snaked it in and out all along the base of the flowers, and I just got it set up to give it a nice drink every morning and every evening. And we put down straw as mulch so we don't have to fight the weeds. I weeded one time, did a good, nice big weeding, threw down the straw mulch. I had the watering in there, so these have been pretty good. Probably how I should have done most of the garden this year. I got some stuff set up on the irrigation, but certainly not enough. This, I believe, also helped out with blight. We had last year pretty much all of the plants, all the flowers had blight running, halfway up the stem. And you can see some of them are starting to get it a little bit, but it's mid-August at this point. I think I got a late start on the plants, but I think we're going to be okay. I don't think I'm going to have to go through and do much spraying of them. I might grab the copper fungicide and hit up a couple of them, but I'm not terribly worried about the greater population of them being infested with it. It seems like things are doing pretty good. I believe that the way that we have the watering set up and the mulching, I believe that has certainly helped. They're not stressed out from intermittent watering, and they're also not getting a lot of soil splashing up, which is probably where that fungus is going to live. Just like with tomatoes, you get the tomato blight from the soil. I also got these 3 new galvanized steel beds built. I think it's a great addition to our garden. Jenny allowed me to grow some veggies in the front yard this year, so I was pretty stoked about that. I was able to build these things. I got a video that will hopefully eventually be coming out. Just got to put it all together and edit it and everything. But a little how-to of how I did it with all time lapses and everything. So it's pretty cool. I like them. I think I used pretty high quality materials, so they should be pretty durable. I ended up going with a galvanized floor decking instead of galvanized roofing. The floor decking I was able to get, I want to say it's 24 gauge galvanized steel, and the corrugated steel roofing that you would get from like Lowe's or Home Depot, I believe, is generally like 29 gauge, somewhere around there. So this is much thicker and a little bit going to be durable, a little bit more durable, I hope. Things are going pretty well in here now. We've got a bunch of eggplants going. We've harvested a couple of them already, so we'll end up hopefully having some to offer up to the neighbors. You can see plenty of banana peppers here. I've already harvested a whole bunch of them out of here, but we've got a couple more. Another harvest coming in, so that's cool. Got some more lemon drop peppers in the middle there. It's these guys. I started growing these last year. There's a couple I pulled off of this plant that have this brown to them. Not digging that, but beautiful yellow color. They've got a really nice flavor to them. It's hot, but not unbearable. So I was happy about them last year, and I got that huge plant out back that should produce a whole bunch, be able to keep them through the winter. We got some zucchini here. We got a couple big ones off of here. I think there was still one hanging here. Here you go. There's that guy. It's ready to pick. I got a couple sitting in the house. I'm gonna make a whole bunch of zucchini bread, maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, who knows. There's a yellow one hiding down there. And summer squash. And then over here we got a bunch more peppers. Had some jalapeno and some poblano. Got a couple of poblanos in here. A little on the smaller side. We fought like hell against aphids in this bed, and we're still fighting them. I know people say, just hose them off, spray them with the hose, and yeah, that doesn't work so much when it's a ton of them. I've tried squishing them off, I've tried neem oil, I've tried spraying them off with the hose, I've tried insecticidal soap, tried killing off some of the ants that are taking care of them with the little taro ant baits. Caught a bunch of them, but what I've found recently that seems to be working is Bonide all seasons horticultural spray. And I don't know, it says it's organic, it says that it's safe. From what I've looked on the back, it's 98% mineral oil, and it's generally pretty safe. You can put it on cutting boards and stuff like that. So I figure if I'm spraying it on here and I can at least wash it off when it's time to harvest, then that's a pretty good thing. You can also see in the midst of that there's a little little brown dot, that is an aphid that has been taken over by the parasitoid wasp. It is a little teeny tiny wasp that will parasitize the aphids, and the larvae will grow inside, feed off of the aphid, and then emerge. And I believe the stat is something like maybe like 400. It can infect 400 aphids in its lifetime. And I mean, as long as their numbers are coming up, it should help out. But the aphids multiply like crazy. I forget what the number is, something like 12 a day maybe for each one, and they're born already pregnant. They're born already ready to come out and have more babies. So it's a pretty tough battle with them, but we're fighting it and we're doing all right. Side bed over here also succumbed to lack of water. It wasn't until late in the summer when I finally got the little drip irrigation set up going here, and it's not fully set up, so this is again going to be another bed that's pretty much trash until next year. These kale plants aren't too bad. The only thing I see on here is these little white moths. I'm not really sure too much about them. I haven't really researched them, but I can probably clean this plant up a little bit and start getting some decent harvests off of it. And this is walking stick kale. Baker Creek is where I got the seeds, and some of the ones that they've got pictures of on there, I think even on the seed packet, there might have been one that was like 12 feet tall. So should be able to keep that going for a while. And lastly, this is pretty much like a desert garden at this point. You can see all that grass is pretty much dried out. Rosemary seems to be loving this weather. I'm starting to see a little bit of brown on the ends, but for the most part, it doesn't seem to be bothered too much by the lack of water. Eucalyptus is doing fairly well also. I didn't think that that was going to last through the winter here, and it has, I believe, 2 years now. Plenty of broadleaf sage. I got to trim all that back, get some water on it. Our horseradish is holding up, but definitely struggling with the lack of water. I've got to try to set this bed up so that next year we've got some automated watering on that also. So thank you very much for sticking around through all that if you made it this far. Thanks for following me along and visiting all the different spots of my hellscape of a garden. I really appreciate you checking it out with me, and just want to say thank you very much for anybody who's been a subscriber for a while. Thanks to the new subscribers. If you haven't already, do me a favor, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Maybe smash that subscribe button. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Thanks a lot. I'll try to get a video out soon. I know we didn't cover the chickens or the aquaponics or the big greenhouse, but I'll try to get some stuff out for that soon. So take care, everybody.